IFS Maven Equity Finance invests £1 million into Wilson's Pet Food Limited, specializing in premium cold press and frozen raw dog food, as well as treats and supplements. Wilson's is one of the longest established pet food companies, offering dog owners a wide range of options. Now, when I've been looking at their catalog of cold pressed dog food, they seem to be firing on all cylinders, and I don't really know whether that's a good or a bad idea. I mean, they have salmon, chicken, lamb, turkey, and duck. They have venison and trout, whitefish. They have haggis. They have an insect based dog food, and they have a vegan dog food. So they have puppy foods, etc., etc. Now, those are all the verticals. They are trying to sell to absolutely everyone. And for them to raise a relatively small amount of money, which is £1 million, to be going after all those verticals, do you like what do you make of this? Because I just think that if you have a £1 million investment and a relatively smallish company, so 15 million quid. I mean, do you really want to go after the insect market and the vegan market and the puppy and the adult and do 55 different products and a wet and a raw and this and that and the other?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. It'd be interesting to see what the reasoning was behind raising £1 million, because my feeling is that they're looking to try and sort of make the range more mainstream, like blow it up more in the D2C way, more in a more visible way. That was why, because their products are quite good. Like, they do a good range of raw. Like, their raw is fine. Is it the best? No. Is it the worst? No. It's fine. It's kind of mid-rangey. Their cold pressed, they've got a good range of cold press. The ingredients are relatively good, but cold pressed, you know yourself, does it sell a lot? Not really. It doesn't. I don't really see where it fits in the market. I mean, there used to be this like old wives' tale about how you couldn't feed kibble with raw, but you can feed cold press with raw. So you can't buy cold press because kibble like digests at a different rate, and I mean that's all been like blown out of the water with studies that have been done. So then it was like, okay, so what's the point in cold press? Well, it preserves the nutrients better than kibble. Okay, that's fine. But I think people who are buying kibble are buying kibble. They're not necessarily like going, well, I want something that's going to preserve my nutrients a bit better, but not a ton better. It's like, who gives a crap? It's like I don't really see the point of cold press. This is my I think. So they've created a range of cold press and it sells okay. But I think they're just trying to get to that next level, and I think they've probably hit a bit of a brick wall where they've got into your Just for Pets, they've got into a number of different like shops around the country, and it's just sort of like they probably are taking the money on to try and push themselves up to that next level. But I think with their current product range, I'm not sure how you do it. I think they need to pick a lane, because I think that their problem is at the moment is that the raw foods are too middle of the road. They I don't think I've ever said to somebody feed Wilson's. I mean, I've used it myself. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good stuff, but it's not really here nor there. It's not the best on the market. It's not like, and then it's not like one of the cheapest, like, because you've got like the Bulmers, the Birmingham Raw, the Prime Raw, those sort of people who are knocking out those chubs. So you're not in that market, and then you're not in the naked dog sort of market either, or like you can't. It doesn't look as great as, let's say, a Mersey Raw. So it's like, and then it doesn't have the market traction of a DAF or a Nutriment. So it's like, where are they really sitting? I feel like that they're kind of stuck in two places at the moment. I mean, they do interesting things like the haggis one. Like, I forget what the one I had was called, but again, it's kind of cute. But like, you're not thinking, oh well, they do haggis, I'm just going to buy Wilson's. Like, you might buy it one off as a bit of a giggle, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's not really part of your long term plan. So I think that they're taking the money to try and blow themselves up, but I think they've got a problem with their product range and as to where they'll sit, because they're selling salmon, or big deal. Who isn't? It's like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Pick a lane and do it really well. Innovate what they really need is a couple of real champion products which people are like, fuck yeah. Like that is what I really, really want is that product, and then the rest of the stuff will sell around it. But I just don't see that champion product amongst it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, what happened to cold pressed food? Fourth Glade did a really, really good job a few years back, and I mean, sales reps were telling everyone how kibble was burned to hell, and cold press, everything was gently dehydrated and pressed cold to preserve more of the nutrients. And for a brief 18 months, lots of people bought into that, you know. Um,
Did they
but
have the glasses of water where it's like in one cup there's kibble and there's another one there's like and it's like okay, but your stomach does dog stomach's not full of water. Last time I checked, it's like acid, right?
yeah, yeah, but it's interesting because like the name or the marketing term or the process called pressed carries some sort of weight, in my opinion. It's a lot better than natural, and it's a lot better than hypoallergenic. Maybe not as good as hypoallergenic or analergenic from Royal Canin. I mean, these are all marketing terms, but cold pressed. I don't know whether maybe Fourth Glade or any other company could have trademarked it or registered it or whatever, so it would have been a bit more unique. But it's completely fallen out of fashion.
But
Um,
I think the problem is the actual product itself isn't very appealing, right? If you tip out a bag of cold press, you've got like cylindrical lumps, which aren't really that smelly. They're not that exciting. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of hardish. You know, you have to sort of snap it. You can snap them in your fingers, but it's not an exciting looking product to give to your dog. Whereas I think kibble looks a lot better. If you tip out a bag of kibble and you've got, you know, because they coat it in oils and that sort of stuff, so it's got a strong, punchy flavour to it. Um, I just don't think it looks as good. And it's one of those things that look, I do give cold press myself. Like I use gentle cold press, but like I don't just if I put my business head on and you say to me, right, you can produce a dog food, you produce kibble or you produce raw or you produce the fresh cooked. I don't see the point in cold press. I don't think it has a strong enough place in the market, and I don't think it's gonna grow. I don't see how it can grow, to be honest, because um, you either the messaging is too confusing. Because I think the problem is like, look, if you look at the kibbles as well, with the fresh cooked kibbles, so like the 30% fresh meat, 20% meat meal, you can't use fresh meat in cold press. Everything has to be milled. So then you have like the argument, which people rightly say, is that well, you've already cooked the crap out of the meat beforehand anyway, by like turning it into meal. Whereas the fresh cooked version of like putting fresh meat through, where you like dehydrate it and then put it through the ovens, you're saving a lot of the nutrients that way. So again, it's sort of like, okay, it's hard to know, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, it's not as exciting as having different color kibbles like you get in pedigree, right? And you get like the brown
like,
kibbles and the
like
yellow kibbles
bakers, like little
and the
bone
red
shaped ones.
kibbles, and everything is like different colors and stuff. I mean, bloody hell.
No, but there is a midpoint. I remember when Yukon Uber Premium first came over in the 80s, and I remember when we got it, and you smell it, and it's got this strong meat smell to it, and it's you can take it out your hand, and the dogs will go for it. There's just you don't get that excitement with cold pressed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like where it looks like rabbit pellets or something. Do you know, or like pig pellets or something? You're just like, well, that just looks like something you give to agriculture as opposed to no, but as opposed to dog food. And I think that's like it really does hurt the image of what they're doing, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I'm not like I would never back heavily into cold pressed.
fair enough. Well, on that note, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you all next week.
Yeah. Thanks a million, dude.